All right, let's dive into something that so many of us experience but rarely understand. Most of us think of ourselves as pretty rational, independent adults, right? But what if I told you that deep inside your brain, there's this ancient alarm system, one that can basically flip a switch and turn you back into a helpless infant the second you feel someone you love start to pull away? Today, we're going to unpack that system piece by piece. So let's just start with this really powerful idea. Logically, you know that a quiet partner probably just had a long day. But your ancient survival brain, it doesn't operate on logic. It's running on software that was coded thousands of years ago, where being cast out from the tribe was quite literally a death sentence. That old wiring is still running the show, and it treats emotional distance like a life or death emergency. You know that feeling, right? That pit in your stomach, that frantic need to check your phone again and again, that literal physical ache in your chest when someone you care about goes cold? If you felt that, I want you to hear this. That feeling is not a character flaw. It's not you being too needy. It's a high-speed biological reflex, and we're gonna figure it out together. Okay, here's our game plan. We'll start by digging into that death sentence paradox. Then we'll get into the actual science of social pain and the crazy alarm loop it traps us in. We'll look at why your brain is literally designed for panic, and then, this is the most important part, we'll cover exactly how to self-regulate. And we'll wrap up with a final thought. The war is over.
So let's start with this core conflict, what we're calling the death sentence paradox. It's that whiplash you feel, going from a capable, competent adult 1 minute to being completely overwhelmed by this raw, unfiltered fear the next. It feels like you're falling apart, but what's actually happening is that a very old, very powerful system is being activated.
The technical name for this feeling is separation distress. And I want to be clear, this isn't just feeling a little sad or worried. This is a full-body, 5-alarm fire. It's the exact same survival alarm that an infant feels when its caregiver walks out of the room. And why an infant? Well, because for a baby, separation is a life or death situation. Your brain has that same zero-tolerance policy for being alone. Because for most of human history, being isolated meant you would make it. This alarm is designed to be unbearable, to force you to do something, anything to reconnect. And here's where it gets really wild from a neuroscience perspective. See, evolution is lazy. It didn't bother to create a whole new system just for emotional pain. Instead, it just hijacked the one for physical pain. The part of your brain that lights up when you break your leg, it's called the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, or dACC for short, is the very same part that fires up when you feel rejected. That ache in your chest when you're left on red, that's not in your head. Your brain is processing it like a literal physical wound. And this is exactly what that hijack feels like from the inside. We call it limbic panic. It's a total somatic takeover. You get that physical ache, your mind starts scanning everything, analyzing every word, every silence, looking for threats. You can't focus on anything else because your brain has decided this is the only problem worth solving. And all the while, your body's stress system is just pumping you full of adrenaline and cortisol. You're in fight or flight. Your rational mind, it's pretty much offline at this point. So let's talk about the separation alarm loop. Because this panic, it isn't just random chaos. It follows a very predictable biological script. And the moment you understand the pattern, you can start to see how to break out of it. See, your fear follows a script every single time. It starts with a withdrawal cue, and this can be something tiny, like a text that just says K instead of their usual okay. That's enough. Step 2, the alarm goes off. That social pain center in your brain lights up. Step 3, your body is hijacked by survival chemistry. And then comes the really critical step, protest behavior. This is when you do something, anything, to try and close that gap and get a response. Finally, the reinforcement. If they text back and reassure you, you get a little hit of relief, which actually reinforces the panic cycle. And if they don't, your brain logs the entire experience as a near-death event, which just makes the alarm even more sensitive for next time. So let's zoom in on that term, protest behaviors. This can look like a lot of different things. It might be sending 10 texts in a row. It might be demanding to know, are we okay, over and over. It can even be picking a fight just to get a reaction, any reaction, that proves they're still there, still engaged. It is so important to understand that this is not you being manipulative or crazy. This is your brain's most primitive, desperate survival strategy to stop that sting of social pain and make sure your life support system is still online. Which brings us to a huge question. Why? Why is this system so intense, so over the top? Well, the answer lies in the deep evolutionary logic that basically made your brain anxious by design because it prioritizes connection above literally everything else. This quote really says it all. Think about it like a smoke detector. You'd much rather it go off accidentally a few times from some burnt toast than have it fail to go off the one time there's a real fire, right? Your brain's abandonment alarm works on the exact same principle. The cost of being wrong about a potential abandonment, death, was so high for our ancestors that the system is designed to have false positives. Your brain would rather you panic for no reason 1,000 times than be chill and miss the one time the threat is real. And this chart really puts that into perspective. This is a concept called proximity maintenance. When that alarm bell starts ringing, your brain's priorities get shuffled big time. Things like your dignity, your sense of calm, looking cool, all of that goes out the window. The number one non-negotiable mission becomes keeping that connection secure. Your brain will happily sacrifice your pride to reestablish contact because, to your ancient wiring, connection equals survival, period. And this isn't just a mental thing. It's deeply physiological. Your nervous system, especially the big nerve that regulates your sense of safety, the vagus nerve, it basically treats your most important relationships as a part of your own body. So when rejection happens, your nervous system experiences it as a vagal crash. It feels like a catastrophic failure of your internal safety system, which is why it can feel like you're literally collapsing from the inside out. Okay, so we've covered the why, we get the biology. Now for the most empowering part of this whole conversation. How do we actually self-regulate? Let's get into the practical, science-backed tools you can use to move from constantly needing someone else to calm you down to building that safety inside yourself. This slide shows the powerful shift that we're really aiming for. On the left, you've got the automatic, panicked reactions, the primitive survival stuff. On the right, you have conscious, regulating actions, your adult agency stepping in. The goal isn't to stop the alarm from ever going off. You can't, it's wired in. The goal is to change your response to the alarm. We're moving from unconscious reaction to conscious choice. And this is the core skill we're trying to build. We call it internal co-regulation. You know, when we're kids, our caregivers calm our nervous systems for us. As adults stuck in this panic loop, we're often still looking for a partner to do that. Internal co-regulation is the superpower of learning to provide that same soothing signal to your own nervous system. It's about being able to generate a feeling of safety from within, even when the world outside feels shaky. So here is your first super practical tool, the 20-minute protocol. It's simple. When you feel that panic rising, that overwhelming urge to send that text, you make a deal with yourself. You have to wait 20 minutes. This isn't about willpower, it's pure biochemistry. It takes about 20 minutes for that initial flood of adrenaline to clear out of your system. By just waiting, you're literally giving your rational brain, your prefrontal cortex, time to come back online and get back in the driver's seat. And what do you do during those 20 minutes? You use ventral vagal anchoring. Remember, the panic is a physical event, so you need a physical intervention. Splash cold water on your face. This triggers something called the mammalian dive reflex, and it instantly slows your heart rate. Or practice deep box breathing. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. These actions send a direct, bottom-up signal to your brain's alarm center that says, hey, the body is safe. And if the body is safe, the brain can start to believe that the connection is safe too. And here's a great long-term strategy, building object constancy. See, your amygdala, your brain's fear center, it has a terrible memory for safety. It only remembers threats. So you need to help it out. Create a safety file on your phone or in a journal. Every time your partner was distant and it turned out to be totally fine, write it down. When you feel that panic rising, open that file and read the evidence. You are literally using one part of your brain, your memory, to show proof to another part of your brain, your fear center, that distance does not always equal death. And that brings us to our final and maybe most powerful idea. It's the shift in perspective that changes everything. It's about realizing that the war is over. It's about finding peace by working with your survival wiring, not constantly fighting against it. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. The panic you feel is not a sign that you are broken. It is a sign that your survival hardware is working perfectly. It's like a badge of honor. It's proof that you come from a long line of ancestors who are so exquisitely wired for connection that they survived. You were made to belong. And once you truly get that this alarm is a feature, not a bug, you can finally stop fighting yourself. Real freedom begins with this deep realization. The ancient war for survival, the one your nervous system is still fighting, it's over. In our modern world, you are not going to be abandoned in the wilderness. You have the power to be your own source of safety. You can learn to soothe your own system, and you can finally truly find peace within yourself, even and especially when you're alone. The war is over. You are safe to breathe in the silence.